All right, I think we're going. Give it a second, just in case there's a delay, because I never tell. I have to give it the old never know if this is live. So hopefully it is. And as far as I can tell, it is. So, to anybody who may be here, what is up? What's going on? Um, Today is live number 5. That rhymed. Today we're talking about the Netflix movie Project Power. Now, this one just came out, I think. I don't even know what today is. I'm going to say it was 2 days ago. And I watched it last night, and I felt there's a ton of reviews already out on the internet. But I decided that today I was going to be talking about it instead of doing a review video. So I figured why not just utilize the live and just do this. Now, for anybody who may be joining in, I did do something a little bit different. I took the advice of my friend Paximus and decided to get Epoch Cam or whatever it's called. And so I'm recording off of my phone here so I can see actually my screen separate. Hopefully you'll have to let me know in the chat or on the replay in the comments if this looks any better. Sounds probably the same because I'm still using my microphone. But if it just looks any better, let me know. I would greatly appreciate how it looks for you. But today we are talking about Project Power. Again, this one just came out on Netflix. I kind of gave you guys a little bit of homework if you're following me on social media, where I recommended that in order to get the best experience for this live, to watch it, because that's going to be the best way that you're going to even understand what I'm even talking about. But maybe you're just here because you don't know if you want to watch it. I probably will spoil some things for you, most likely, just because that's what I told you. I told you to watch it. But hopefully you did watch it, and we're going to talk about it today. If anybody's here live, make sure you let me know in the live chat. I would love to say hello to you. Or if you're not able to watch and want to hit me with the team replay or whatever the case may be, love and appreciate that. Oh, there's a bug here. Hold on one second. Stupid bugs. I don't know. Anyway, sorry. Project Power. This one is starring Jamie Foxx. Oh, let me put up the graphic. 1 second. Always forget about the graphic. Project Power. Now you have a little bit better understanding as to what I'm talking about. I think it's on this side. This graphic here. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. So today we're talking about Project Power, starring Jamie Foxx, Joesph Gordon-Levitt, and Dominique Fishback. I don't know if that's actually the pronunciation of it. I'm hoping it's more of like a French name or something, where it's like Fishbaugh or something, but it's literally spelled Fishback, so I'm going to say Fishback. But the movie it was right up my alley right from Jump Street. So it's essentially this pill that gives you superpowers of some kind that you don't know until you take it for about 5 minutes. And so something that's actually funny, and I'll circle back to that in a few minutes, about the 5-minute rule, I guess, for this movie. So everybody kind of like has to like set a timer for most people. And the kind of the joke was that this movie's going to bring back analog watches instead of like smart watches or anything like that. I thought it was kind of funny, but everybody in the movie uses analog watches. But this one was directed by Henry Joesph and Ariel Schulman, who actually directed Nerve, the Catfish documentary, because Ariel Schulman is Neve Schulman's brother. So if you're familiar with the MTV show or documentary Catfish, he's his brother. And they're actually supposed to be slated to direct the Mega Man movie of some kind. I don't know if that's going to be animated or if it's going to be live action, but just something that I saw on IMDb while I was looking these gentlemen up. Oh, and they directed, I think, 1 or 2 of the Paranormal Activity movies. 3 and 4, I want to say, or just 3. Doesn't matter. They're all the same movie. As the story of this one is that there's a pill on the market which will give you superpowers of unknown ability until you take it for about 5 minutes. This could be anything from like a temperature regulation power, super strength, bulletproof, you name it, you can probably get it. Invisibility is one of them. And something that they kind of call to, which I felt didn't make a ton of sense in this movie, is, and this is minor spoiler, I guess, is that you kind of have this animal ability to it. It kind of reminds me, if you've ever seen Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I want to say it's called Out of the Shadows, whatever the second one was, the Megan Fox one, where they did the same thing with Bebop and Rocksteady. If you know what I'm talking about there, it's kind of the same concept with your sort of animal instinct or genetics type of thing and how you relate, but it just kind of was a cheap cop out to me, especially in some of the ways the abilities are explained. Because there's literally a lady who has this thermoregulation type of thing that can't control it, but she gets full on ice powers. And they even compare her and make a joke to like Elsa, which went from Frozen, which I thought was kind of dumb. But there's also another guy who like goes full Human Torch, which is Machine Gun Kelly, for some reason is in this, and so is Casey Neistat, but that's not an important character. And so like their thermoregulation, I guess, has some relation to with I would guess frogs or lizards of some kind. It doesn't really make sense, but the extreme that it goes to didn't make sense to me. Like the fact that you burst into flames or you become like fully made of ice, just it didn't make. I'm pretty sure like lizards and frogs don't have that thermoregulation. If there's any scientists in the room, please feel free, or if you're watching this on a replay, let me know. But the movie was okay. It had a good layer of cheese to it, where like I could do other things while I was watching it, just because it wasn't fully investing. Like it came across like I kind of don't care because I feel like I've seen it before, but at the same time, I do think it scratched an itch with a lot of people for superheroes for this year because we missed out on a lot due to the pandemic. So I feel like that was the one caveat that you could say, okay, maybe I can kind of look past some of this stuff in order to enjoy it because at least I'm kind of getting a superhero-esque story, but at the same time, there's also a lot of other great stuff like Umbrella Academy, which I just have posted a review for yesterday, 2 days ago. It's on the channel. Make sure you go check it out. So I posted a review for season 2 yesterday or the other day. There's The Boys, which this movie also very much reminds me of because of certain aspects of it. There's still a lot of good content. And so this one just felt like it was kind of just trying to scratch the itch. Maybe it just came out at a good time. And maybe that's why people are going to be a lot more talking about it. And there's, I forgot what it's called. It's a something shrimp. This is a spoiler, by the way. It's a something shrimp that Jamie Foxx's character's ability relates to, where like he can like not necessarily snap, but like explode and like obliterate everything around him more or less. But the way it's done and what I looked up about this particular creature is interesting. Don't get me wrong. And actually, the comments of that YouTube video, like everybody's like, "I'm here because of Project Power," and who else is here because of Project Power? Wanted to find out what this creature was, which I thought that was really funny. This is a video that was posted like 7 years ago. It's probably gotten 1 million plus views after this movie got released just on its own. But like, I feel like the creature it's kind of based off of, his power is kind of anticlimactic compared to that. I don't know if that really makes sense. But it just, I feel like a lot of it's kind of, well, the creature itself is anticlimactic, not Jamie Foxx's power. Like his power is obviously like abundantly different or like on a much larger exponential scale than what this particular shrimp can do. It's called like a bullet shrimp, something like that. Pistol shrimp. I think it's pistol shrimp. That's what that one's called. But the main thing that I felt like, okay, let's talk about the acting before I get into the one thing that kind of bothered me, I guess. So what I liked was, the acting, sorry, I'm all over the place. This whole camera setup has me thrown off because I want to look here, but I need to look here. So the acting, Jamie Foxx did really well. I feel like he fit the character pretty well. I didn't like what they wanted his character to be. I felt like the storyline with his daughter was very cliche in a lot of ways that kind of felt like this was their opportunity, or at least an opportunity for them to be different. And instead they kind of copped out and fell with the story that we might kind of be familiar with. At least that was my opinion on it. But I could be wrong. Maybe if anybody else has seen it in the comments or anything like that can let me know, because I would love to hear what you think. Joesph Gordon-Levitt's character, I think that he's good in most things that he does, but he very much felt like a non-character sometimes because they wanted to make him part of the story, but because he's sort of dealing with, because he's a cop and he's willing to do the thing that will give him the edge versus the bad guys taking these pills. That part made sense. I totally like that. But there's part of the movies where he's kind of written off and not nearly as much as a big character as you would have expected him to be. He's a lot more of a minor character. This is more of a Jamie Foxx and what's her name again? Dominique Fishback. Sorry, it's very much their movie more than anything else. It's not so much Joesph Gordon-Levitt. Something, speaking of Joesph Gordon-Levitt, that I think is interesting. This movie takes place in New Orleans, and he's constantly wearing a New Orleans Saints jersey. They're constantly referencing the New Orleans Saints. But they took off the NFL logo from his jersey, but also still kept the Saints logo. So I'm wondering if there's any relation that they had to approach the Saints for this or pay them any kind of royalty money to use their logo and mention their name so many times. Just my own little thing as a football fan that I noticed. But he did good for what he was. Like, I like the fact that he was willing to take that risk in order to stop the bad guys, like do the little bit of bad that's related to that in order to get to the bigger fish. That made sense. But then they kind of redirect him to go after Jamie Foxx's character. It's kind of just a big mishmash. The only one who's consistent and actually fun is Dominique Fishback. What's funny about her character, at least in my opinion, is that her character's name is Robin. And the fact that Joesph Gordon-Levitt was in The Dark Knight Rises, where his character was Robin, but he wasn't Robin that we know, and we didn't find that out till the end. And this girl even mentions when she's with Jamie Foxx's character, like, I'm gonna go in there with you, like Batman and Robin. I thought that was, I don't know if they did that intentionally. I don't know if you can hear that car outside. But I don't know if they did that intentionally. It's kind of weird. Funny, but like a little heavy-handed, if you ask me. Again, these are all my opinions. I just bit my tongue. These are all my opinions, and so I could be wrong. I mean, you may have liked it more than I did. I thought it was good, but not great. And I think the thing that really holds it back more than anything else is I felt like the VFX, the visual effects, were pretty amateur for the most part, which is kind of sad for a Netflix movie. I mean, I feel like all of their budget went into getting Jamie Foxx and Joesph Gordon-Levitt, that they kind of slacked on the VFX. Now, there were some things that they tried to push in terms of like the ability of changing from ice or fire. There's an invisibility guy that just kind of looked like it was a body paint. Like, you know how like there's pictures of people like standing in a background and they have their body painted exactly like the background in order to blend in. It looked like that. And it didn't really feel like he was meant to be an invisible character. And what other character was there? I feel like there was another one that just felt like it didn't make sense or fit in terms of like, why would you choose these creatures as the ones that have this ability? Like, they very much shrouded Jamie Foxx's ability more or less, but I felt like if he would have been like more of a Hulk-esque and not just like screams and everything obliterates around him type of thing, it didn't feel like it was a very interesting character. But they relied on the VFX for those transitions, for those characters that obviously you can't make happen in real life. And that makes sense, but it just looked kind of cheap. Like when Machine Gun Kelly, I said Jelly, Machine Gun Kelly, like freaks out and ODs or whatever to become this like flame Johnny Storm, Human Torch like character. It just looks bad. Like, not necessarily the effects in itself, but I think the way that it fit in terms with interacting with the live action in camera stuff. I don't know if there was maybe a miscommunication between the VFX people and the directors who shot it and what they wanted, and they just kind of had to jumble it a little bit, but it just felt like it looked off a lot of the times. And there's a lot of movies that have big budgets, big studios, including Netflix, who could make some pretty awesome effects. I mean, if you've ever watched Corridor Digital, the Corridor Crew channel, they are really good. They talk about VFX breakdowns, good and bad VFX. They do it like weekly. Those are really good videos, and you can see some really good stuff and some really bad stuff. I have a feeling, I don't know if it will, I'm probably going to submit it myself, but I want to see if they'll break down some of these VFX. It kind of looks like not that great, so I'm hoping maybe they'll select my comment and talk about it themselves. My theory, or if I were to guess what they would say, is that it's good in terms of like what it looks like, but it's bad in terms of its relation to on-screen action. Just a theory, not sure. But if I had to describe this movie, I feel like it's, again, I keep going back to The Boys, and I think I said this in another review or an upcoming Cinematically Late where I talk about some relation to another thing with The Boys. But I feel like it's The Boys meets, if you've ever seen the Bradley Cooper movie called Limitless, it's like if they had a baby. Because that movie is about a guy who essentially gets addicted to pills that make you smarter, if I remember correctly. It's been a long time since I saw it. But it like hyper enhances your focus, almost like an ADHD medication or something like that, where he can get stuff done. He's very productive. He becomes extremely smart. And he more or less gets addicted to it, which, I mean, if you have that ability and you can grow your wealth and things like that, kind of makes sense. But hold on, wait a minute. I don't know if I just had a thing come across. My mouse just died. 1 second. Sorry. No. Okay. Sorry. Just the setup is weird. So yeah, it's very much like that because of like the whole pill aspect. We have to take it in order to have these abilities. But like because of the superpower aspect and like some people using it for good, some people using it for bad, it kind of reminded me of The Boys. Maybe I'm just in the boys mood where everything's kind of reminding me of it, or I'm just seeing so many superhero properties that because they're wanting to toe that line of if you had superpower abilities, would you use them more for good or for bad? I think maybe that's what it could be, because there is certain things that just toe that line very well. The Boys being one of the best. So I feel like I just always compare it to that, if anything. But again, if there's anybody here who has seen this movie, let me know down in the comments or in the live chat. I would love to hear from you. But really, those are my thoughts. Is it worth watching? To me, most things are worth watching. You should always give something a chance. You don't want to always judge a book by its cover and write it off. I had that happen with Hamilton, where everybody was so excited about it, and then I was just like kind of writing it off, not wanting to watch it. But then when I watched it, I've been singing the songs nonstop. So it's kind of like, you can't judge a book by its cover. You can't say this is going to be a bad movie when it might not be. Of course, there are some trailers that make movies look really bad, in which case most likely they might be. But there's also the opposite of that spectrum where you can have a really awesome trailer like Suicide Squad, and then it's just a really bad movie overall, even though for some reason I keep coming back to watch it. I don't know if that's just my own self-destructive nature or what have you. But again, if you are here in the live stream, or if you're going to be watching this on replay or anything like that, and you do want to let me know your thoughts on Project Power, I would love to hear it from you. Make sure to drop that below. What else do I have? I think that's pretty much it. I don't have a whole lot this week. I mainly just wanted to dedicate it to this one movie. Live weekly is kind of an interesting thing. I was starting it more as a if I wanted to go live, but with the push towards live with working from home and things like, and this whole pandemic, I figured I might as well just make it a weekly thing. But sometimes not a whole lot happens in the week. But next week, my plan is to talk about DC Fandom, because that's going to be on, I want to say the 22nd. I don't have a calendar in front of me. Let me see. Let's see if I can get a calendar. I want to say it's the 22nd, Saturday. I want to say it's this 22nd, 23rd. But I'm probably going to do something about DC Fandom next week. I'm going to try and stay as updated as possible. It's a 24-hour event. But I was looking at the schedule, and it's kind of strange in terms of they might just repeat stuff after a little while just so people have access to it again instead of just like saving it to their archive type of thing and just you can watch it again. Just worry about 6 hours of work versus 24. I don't really know, but I'm still going to check it out and see exactly what that's all about. I'll try and find out some cool information and report back next week. So make sure you guys hit that subscribe button to make sure you don't miss out next week's live where we talk about DC fandom. Again, that's the plan, no guarantee. If you're watching this video live, I would also appreciate if you hit that like button down below as well as hit that subscribe button. Or if you're on Team Replay, either way, I greatly appreciate both. Make sure you hit subscribe because I do have not only my lives every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, but I'm also going to be having my Cinematically Late. Well, that's been ongoing. But my Cinematically Late is every single Thursday, usually around 9 a.m. is when I post that, Eastern Time. And this last week was... What was last week? Anybody? Anybody remember what last week's video was? I don't even remember what my last week video was. I'm checking. 1 second. What did I post last week? Was last week Hamilton? No. That can't be right. That was the week before. My last video was Hamilton, apparently, for Cinematically Late. Anyway, my last video of Cinematically Late was Hamilton. So make sure you guys check that one out. Highly recommend watching that. Even if you are not a big musical fan, it's worth checking out, especially if you have Disney Plus. Give it a watch. The songs, most of them will be stuck in your head. That happened to me. I've been listening to them nonstop. What else? Next week's Cinematically Late. I don't know if I should tell you. I'll tease it. It's also superhero related because I'm a gigantic nerd. And so most things are probably going to be superhero related. We're just gonna have to get over that. But that's what I want to report on, I guess, or talk about is nerdy stuff because that's what I feel most comfortable talking about. And so make sure you guys are subscribed for all of that fun content. I have my Umbrella Academy Season 2 video, which is also posted on my channel already, so make sure you check that out. What else? Trying to think. Share these videos, obviously. Share it with your friends, family, everybody. Let them know that I go live on Sundays. If you don't have anything to do on Sundays at 7 p.m., I'm here. We'll talk about whatever may be going on, nerd out, or subject can always change. I try and pick a topic, but I kind of hope that whoever may be watching live, if there is something we can kind of riff on, let's riff on it. Why not? So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Again, leave a like if you did. Leave a thumbs up down below. Trying to think of anything else. Am I prolonging this? Probably. Am I worried about it? Not really. You know what? Let's plug some people. I have been enjoying. I'll see if I can pull them up on the computer here. We're going to go to YouTube and plug some people really quick. If there's anybody here that's live, I'm plugging you. In my Umbrella Academy video, I'm going to plug these people first because I think he needs exposure because I like his stuff. I'm going to try to, if I go here, okay, let's try and share my screen. So first up, we're going to recommend Pop Culture Geekery, mainly because that is a video that just came out that I kind of plugged them already. They have a video here, which I think you can see my mouse, called Netflix Umbrella Academy Season 2 Comic vs. Show. Recommend checking that one out. These guys are just like me, super big nerds, and they're really fun to watch. Always have to plug Hey Archer's stuff because I always appreciate him, and that's not the right Hey Archer. I think you have to take away the space for him. There we go. There he is. So recommend checking out Hey Archer's video. Always a good time if you want to nerd out about really anything. Always a fun time there. Now the big one that we need to plug, this is the biggest one. Paximus Enterprises. He is currently at 205 subscribers. if you're following me on social media, he is on his way to 250. He wants to make it there by the end of the week. He's doing a giveaway. Now, that is awesome. I recommend checking him out and subscribing. But one of the best things about Paximus's channel is what I call him. Go to the videos. He has these Meanwhile Studying with Paximus, which he just sort of hangs out in live streams for a couple hours, sometimes several times a day. And he talks about education, mainly is his focus, but he mainly just plays pretty chill music that you can be productive or work with. And, you know, he does what's called the Pomodoro effect, or Pomodoro method, excuse me, not effect, where you study for a certain amount of time, take a little bit of break, and then study again, take a little bit of a break. Super effective. Really helps me when I'm editing or wanting to read even. It helps me focus. He has really great music, and recommend checking him out and subscribing. Who else? Let's plug Andrew. I know he has other channels. He has like 5 channels. But I recommend checking out Andrew's channel, Consult the Blind Guy. He talks about, he's big on, he's doing what's called a Lita challenge, which is live every day in August. How he's able to do it, I don't know. But I'm covering some of this stuff up. I just realized. I'm so sorry. Okay. Andrew's channel, which he helps you with help grow your YouTube channel, gives you recommendations, as well as he is, I think, somewhat visually impaired, not fully. But if you have any issues or want like help with visual impairment or just advice, someone to talk to, he's a go-to guy. Plus, he's just awesome guy to talk to. That's all I'm gonna plug for now. There's one more. Hold on. There is one more. They just started. For those, what's Lenny's channel? For those not about to rock. Lenny, please forgive me if you're watching this. I just subscribed the other day. For those, hold on, we're gonna switch back to me while I do a quick little search. Doing a quick little search, give me a second. I think it's For Those with Good Taste. I think it's what it's called. Yes, that's what it's called. Okay, we're gonna switch back. For Those with Good Taste, this one is also recommended. This is a friend of Archer's, Lenny, and their friends also, Chris, I believe, who started their own channel and podcast, which they're going to be talking about a bunch of nerdy stuff soon. So I recommend checking them out. They're super cool guys. Recommend that one. I'm sure there's other channels I want to recommend too. I'm just filling time, just trying to make it to half an hour because I got done with my review a little bit early. So anybody who joined during any of this rant, thank you for joining me. Comment section looks pretty bare, but that's okay. Live chat doesn't have to be active. Sometimes we're just going to talk and get stuff off of our chest. But I think I'm going to wrap it up. I don't really have much else to talk about. Check out all the channels that I mentioned. If you have any questions about them, send me a message. I'm happy to get you either in touch with them or recommend other channels, anything like that. But yeah, I think that's all I got for now. Make sure you guys, I'll say it 1,000 times. I'm just repeating filling time here, people. I'm not awesome with the live streams, okay? If you liked the way this video looked, let me know. If you watch Project Power, let me know. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends. Yeah, that's all I got. I don't know what else to do for this other minute. Okay, so thank you guys so much for watching. If you were here, if you're on Team Replay, thank you for watching. And I hope to see you guys in the next live or next video, whichever comes first. See you guys.